processed garbage. By the way, you can thank the Democrats for the government being shut down and your benefits not coming through for November. Looks like you're going to be going to the food pantry for your Thanksgiving meal. I know a lot of food pantries hand out turkeys for Thanksgiving. All the sides and trimmings too. Lots of food pantries. You better figure it out. I'm sick of hearing you complain, honestly. You ever have this as a meal? I'm eating peanut butter and butter on toast. It's absolutely delicious. You should try it. And not for nothing, I saw this woman that said she was getting $1,100 a month in food stamps. Do you know how long I could make $1,100 in food stamps last in this house? There's two of us, but I do have my son over every once in a while, or my daughters over once in a while to eat. I feed them too, and we always got food in our house, no matter what. I would take a third job. I have two jobs. I would take a third job if I had to, just to make sure my kids ate. What are you doing for your kids besides coming on the internet and bitching that you don't have any money in your food stamps account?
Why did you ask whether they either bought processed junk or if they stocked up on pantry items? Most pantry items are processed. And then you talked about eating peanut butter on toast. That stuff is processed. Processed also doesn't equal bad. Also, if you've ever looked into this, you know things like obesity rates and poverty rates are linked together because when people have less money or are relying on food stamps, they're going to try and get more bang for their buck, like you just said. So if they have a big family, they're typically going to get like a frozen lasagna to feed their family. But then if they eat healthier and spend the actual money, then you're also crapping on them. So it seems like they're never going to win with you anyways. Hey, at least we learned what the Christian response is to this issue.
Tasha, is this you?
I need money. Yes, I do. I need money. Yes, lots of money.
It's always the poor lifting down the poor, because when the government failed you, you feel like the government should fail everyone else. Are you what they call a welfare queen? And yes, that video appears to be 10 years old. Your financial situation may have changed, likely for the better. But that video sure came back to haunt you 10 years later, right? Or lack of empathy for those that are going to lose their SNAP benefits next month shows me that you likely relied on government assistance yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Your income bracket have improved in the last 10 years. And hey, good for you. Everyone has their highs and their lows in life. But just remember that.
Have you heard the latest about the toast eating step lady? Apparently, she's lost her job. Corporate did not agree with her looking down their nose on people who receive food stamps benefits. Oh, let me ask you this. To the food stamp lady, what did you do with this month's check? Considering you won't be getting a check for November. Did you splurge on everyday needs like food, your clothing, your shelter, water, electricity? Or did you save up a little pocket full of sunshine for November? butter sandwich. And she feels like no one should get SNAP benefits. Why? Well, mainly because hers were taken away from her. When her kids were taken away from her. And she no longer has custody of her kids, but she won't say that. She won't say that. But the power of the internet and the people that just are so great at their jobs as internet detectives sat there and pulled up all that information about Latasha. Thing is, Mercado is her last name, and that's also a Hispanic last name. So just, I mean, tell me you hate yourself without telling me you hate yourself.
So there's a woman on here named Latasha Mercado. You may or may not have seen her videos. She made a video that people are very upset about, which I get, basically belittling people on food stamps, asking them, it's October, or in November you may not get your food stamps. It's October. What have you done with your October food stamps? Well, it's October 22nd today. I'm assuming the people that are on food stamps have gotten food for themselves and their children. That's what people do on food stamps. They use it on food for themselves and their children. It's horrible to me that she's putting people down, basically, and basically telling them that she's sick of hearing about it. It is a very real issue that in November there may not be food stamps, and people are going to be hungry. I don't know why we're putting people down. I hope that this woman never is in a position to have to use a government program.
In her video, she looks into the camera and starts scolding people who are upset about not getting their food stamps for November. She says, and I quote, people that are complaining that they're not getting their food stamps for November, what did you do with October's money? Did you stock up on pantry items, or did you just go buy a bunch of processed garbage? Right away, the tone is clear. She's not trying to understand. She's not trying to help. She's trying to shame. And then she takes it a step further and says, by the way, you can thank the Democrats for the government being shut down and your benefits not coming through for November. Looks like you're going to be going to the food pantry for your Thanksgiving meal. It's cruel, honestly. She's laughing at the idea of people struggling to feed their families, mocking those who rely on food assistance to get through the month. She keeps talking, proud of her own hard work, bragging about how she has 2 jobs and would take a third one if she had to. She says she's sick of hearing people complain, but as you listen, you can tell she doesn't know what it's like to truly go without, because struggling isn't about people being lazy or irresponsible. It's about making impossible choices between groceries and gas, between rent and medicine. It's about parents who quietly skip meals so their kids can eat. It's about people working full-time, sometimes more, and still not having enough to cover the basics. This woman talks about eating peanut butter and butter on toast like it's some quirky thrifty meal. But for a lot of families, that's not a cute meal, that's survival food. That's what you eat when the fridge is empty and payday is still a week away. And while she's sitting there pointing fingers, blaming Democrats and poor people and everyone but the system, she completely misses the point. Millions of Americans depend on food stamps, not because they're lazy, but because the system has failed them. What about the seniors who can't work anymore? What about people with disabilities? What about single parents who are already working 2 jobs but still can't make ends meet? She acts like everyone on assistance is doing something wrong. But what's really wrong is a society where people have to beg for basic rights to eat. And let's be real, how much does she even think people are getting on food stamps? Some families barely get $200 a month, and you know what? That $200 might not seem like much to her, but for some of them, it means the difference between about who they are and what they value.
Have you seen the girl talking about how she's tired of people complaining about losing their food stamps? And what did they do with October's food stamp money? Did they buy pantry items, or did they just buy junk? Ma'am, what are you even talking about? And she's blaming Democrats for the government shutdown. I love when people are so wrong and uneducated and loud about it. Wrong and loud. And supposedly she's a Christian. I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand fake capitalistic Christians who think dunking on poor people receiving assistance is cute. I'm not sure what kind of Christian you are, ma'am, but that's not the type of Christian that Jesus Christ was, okay? Like,
The reality is, over millions of America, they depend on food stamp, not because they're lazy, but because the government system failed them. People are working very hard. They are working 2-3 jobs just to survive, just to pay their bills. But unfortunately, somehow they are not getting that breathing space so that they're able to live comfortable and able to pay their bills and take care of their family. Why? Because the inflation is so high, while the salary, it has always been stagnant for over the years. This is the year 2025, but as the food prices increase, as the bill prices increase, you're being told your salary is not going to be increased, and you're supposed to operate with this same salary to take care of your bills that every year they ended up increasing as a result of the inflation. That is the reality, and that's the reason why you're seeing so many Americans, they're having to work 2-3 jobs, even 4 jobs, just to survive, just to pay their bills, just to have food on their table. And here you are, you're having this lady in this video mocking, saying people who are literally depending on food stamp, they're lazy. People who are literally eating toast on peanut butter, they are lazy, forgetting the fact that there are some people in America who cannot afford this food, not because they're lazy, but because somewhere along the line the system failed them. You are one step away from losing, your health insurance if you end up losing a job in America, and somehow you ended up being homeless because why? You cannot pay your bills. If you lose a job in America, somehow you not be able to afford 1 bill or 2 bill, and before you know it, you end up being homeless. Not because you're lazy, but somehow the system has failed people. You're looking at the rent, it's very expensive. You're looking at mortgage, it's very expensive. You're looking at the health insurance, it's very expensive. You're looking at the car insurance, is very expensive. I mean, everything in America, it costs an arm and a leg. And here you are, you're seeing these ladies complaining and blaming the Democrats, saying, the government is shutting down as a result of the Democrats, forgetting that the current administration is not Democrats, rather it's the Republicans who are in power. Right now, she's forgetting the fact that so many Americans are suffering as a result of this current administration. She's forgetting the fact that so many Americans right now are being laid off as a result of this current administration. She's forgetting the fact that right now the system is failing everybody and people are suffering. That is the reality of what's happening in America. So this lady, she's calling herself Christian, forgetting that Christianity is all about having empathy. Christianity is about helping the needy. Christianity is about treating people the way you want to be treated. Christianity is about Jesus telling people, go out there, help the needy, less fortunate, be a good Samaritan to your neighbor, do what you want others to do to you, helping, be offering kindness, be there to your neighbors, That is all Christianity is about. But if you look at this video, looking at this lady, the way she's talking, and literally you can tell she has no empathy. You can literally see that she's looking down on people. You can literally see that, she's seeing that she's better off than the rest, which is not Christianity. Christianity is about offering your hand to the less fortunate. It's about being there to your neighbors, helping. Being Christian, that is all about. That is what I'm understanding about Christianity. I don't know about you, but that's what I understand about being a Christian. And this lady, when she talks, you can literally see she's not having any empathy whatsoever. And no, there are some people, yes, who end up abusing the system, yes, but majority of people are not ending up abusing the system. They somehow along the line, they ended up, losing their job. Maybe they became sick and somehow they found themselves becoming homeless, ended up depending on the food stamp system, so that they're able to take care of themselves, they're able to take care of their family. If you look at the senior people who cannot work, they're depending on the food stamp, the system, the government to assist them. You're looking at the people who are veterinary, who are literally right now, they're depending on the system to help them to feed themselves. That is the food stamp system. I mean, under the food stamp system, there are people who literally are depending on it, not because they're lazy, but because the system failed them in one way or another. And the reality is, in America, if you end up losing your job, you're one step away from losing your home. You're one step away from losing your health insurance benefit. You're one step away from losing your life the way you know it. That is the reality of living in America. So when you look at this lady, the way she's speaking, you literally can tell she's not she's looking down on majority of America. She's literally saying like she's better off than the. So let me know what you think about this video. Please subscribe to my channel and please have empathy. Not everybody is lazy who are depending on the food stamp. Just remember that. Remember, you're one step away from losing that job.